The weak spots of the narcissist. They didn't want you to know. Think about that for a minute. So, you're now learning the narcissist has many, and I mean many weak spots. The narcissist is riddled with anxiety. They are cowards. They are bullies. There's no substance to them. What they want to do is control you. What they want to do is control the narrative. They want to control the situation, they want to control the circumstances, and they want to control anything that they can. This is why the narcissist is a sinking ship. This is why they are a ticking time bomb. And this is why they always lose control. And this is why they need people to do things for them. What are people that do things for them? They are what is known as supply sources. I was one, you were one, maybe you still are one, but you're becoming untethered. Any way you look at it, you're realizing now that the narcissist isn't who you thought they were. They are now who you know they are. The narcissist love bombed you, most likely. They lathered you up, they sold you a bill of goods, and they said, yeah, we can get married, we can grow old, we can have kids, we can do ABC, etc., go into business, have the white picket fence, on and on and on. And as soon as that wedding bell rang, or as soon as the cake was cut, or the day after the wedding took place, that's when everything changed like that. You see, all it takes is one pivotal experience on the behalf of the narcissist when you're in those relationships, on the behalf of you is what I meant to say, when you're with the narcissist, to show them how deep you're falling for them and how deep you're falling into the cycle with them. And what happens there? That's when you relocate. That's when you tell them you love them, you marry them, you have kids, you loan them money, you put them through school. You go into business, if I didn't say that. Whatever you did, there was a point of no return, and the narcissist knew that. They tried to lock you down. Notice, if you will, and this is very important, and very few people ever understand this, yet it is so simple. Once one of those big things happened in the beginning of that relationship that you were entering, once you fully were committed and you told them, yes, I do love you. Yes, I do want to marry you. Yes, we can grow old together, or we can relocate, whatever it was. That's when the narcissist got their big pupils swelled with supply. They probably froze for a few moments. They probably were like, oh my gosh, it's beginning to pay off. My 3 months, my 6 months, my 9 months, my 2 years of love bombing this person, it's finally paid off. Now I get to really, really manipulate this person. And now I get to really take the mask off. You see, the narcissist doesn't want to wear the mask. You may think that they love wearing the masks. They don't. They have to, though. You may say, whoa, where'd that come from, and how do you know it? Well, I'll tell you right now. Think about you. Do you wear a mask? Of course you don't. Maybe once a year during Halloween, because you're trying to participate in one of the holidays that the wherever you're from. But the narcissist wears a mask 24/7, 365 days a year, 366, including leap year. And the reason they don't want to wear those masks, but they have to, it's because they're not authentic. They aren't genuine. They don't want people to know. Say it with me. Ding, ding, ding. You're right that they have weak spots. You're getting it. Everything's coming full circle again in this video, like it does with every video I've ever created and ever will. You see, the narcissist wanted to appear superior to you. They wanted you thinking that they were better than you. They wanted you believing that they had all the answers, even though you were probably smarter than they are. Sure you were. The thing is, the narcissist was living in your mind rent-free. They were controlling you, their narrative, what you did in your 24 hours, and every time you would complete an endless to-do list, you would be given 1, 2, or 3 more endless to-do lists to accomplish. Did you see those 2 beautiful squirrels just run there? That was amazing. You should rewind the video, one and then the other. It's beautiful, and I hope you like the background. But the endless to-do lists were to keep you occupied, and also so that they could make sure that you were earning your keep, if you will, and that you were doing what other people could do, but that it was given, the job that was given to you. That's why when you were in this relationship, you thought it was just you in the relationship and the narcissist. That is not the truth. The truth of the matter is the narcissist had you on the hook, maybe for a day, a week, a month, a year, 30 plus years, but they had other supply sources that were doing things for them also. One of the most famous lines I've ever come up with, and I'll share it with you right now, is this. And I've coined many phrases over the years. It's not about coining phrases. It's about breaking the cycle, breaking the generational curse. But one of the phrases I've created over the years is this. You will never know when the narcissist was when they were with you, because even when they were with you, they were checked out on one of their 3 smartphones. And when they weren't with you, you will never know where they were. You will only know where they told you they were. Play that part and play it over and over and over again. You see, the narcissist knows that if they can keep people stuck on the shelf or hooked on them or caught up in the trauma bond or the devaluation stage or the narcissistic fog, that those people are going nowhere until when? You got it. Until you realize that the narcissist is pathetic. They are weak. They're cowards. They're hollow. They're bullies. They're shallow. There's nothing to them. When you get that message and you finally understand that, yeah, you were manipulated. Yes, you were taken advantage of. And yes, you were being used, abused, and manipulated. When you wrap your head around that, then you understand the narcissist isn't even close to what they claim to be. What they are is they are a brainwasher. What they are is a grifter. What they are is a Ponzi scheme artist. What they are is a con artist. And what they are is a snake oil salesman. Now, you may not even know what the last expression means. What it means is, in the way back in the old days, way before I was born, there were people that used to peddle certain kinds of potions, and they were known as snake oil salespeople. Not exclusively, but somewhat. And they would sell potions to cure anything from an ailing foot to a headache and everything in between, a toothache. And what was in those potions? God only knows, but it wasn't what it was supposed to be. That's what I'm sharing with you. Look it up. You will figure it out. This is what the narcissist does. They sell people a bill of goods, and they deliver absolutely nothing. Zero. As a matter of fact, the one thing that they do deliver is a relationship that you need to heal from, which is why this is the relationship you need to heal from. And when you realize that the narcissist has way more weak spots than you ever thought imagined, then you understand that they're worthless, they're hollow, they're shallow. When I say worthless, I mean, yes, they're still a human being, jury's out there, but they're still a dark energy source and they still walk and talk like we do. But worthless means they don't provide value for you. Quite the opposite. What they did is they created a massive hole in your life that you have to fill. That's what the healing path is, because the narcissist misdirected you from your purpose, from your path, from your hopes, dreams, aspirations, and more. When you realize that they sidetracked you and they were using you literally and figuratively and spiritually, energetically, financially, emotionally, and everywhere in between. When you realize they used you to get what they wanted from you, and once they got what they wanted, they didn't need you any longer. It's not just they didn't need you, it's that you were burnt out, you were used up. Your battery was on low, it was on empty. You didn't have anything left to give because you gave to a fault. You were committed. You went above and beyond the call of duty, and the narcissist knew that. Having said all those things, when you realize that they have many weak spots, think about this. I will give you a couple of their weak spots right now. One, they can't be alone. Think about it. Are you alone right now? Most likely you are. Am I alone right now? As far as human beings go, yeah, I am. But guess what? I'm surrounded by Mother Nature. You just saw a couple squirrels go by me. I'm certain there are deer here. There are animals, birds, hawks. Yeah, there are probably snakes and more here. But you know what? I'm where I want to be. This is the exact spot where I belong in this moment. And if you think for a moment that where you are right now is not where you belong, you would be incorrect. You are exactly where you are supposed to be on this thing called life, on this journey called life. Many times and many years ago in the past, I've shared this in videos in the past, I didn't believe that I was where I was supposed to be. Mainly right after the discard, because I was caught up in the trauma bond, caught up in the narcissistic fog devaluation stage. It was the holidays, I was left for dead, etc. And I was FOMOing. Well, I didn't know back then what I know now. And right now, I wouldn't trade this Carolina woods for anything on the planet. But I had to put a lot of work into myself. I had to focus on myself diligently. And for 2 years and 2 days during the pandemic, all I did was work on myself. Post-pandemic and post-escaping the narcissistic relationship /fog/trauma bond and becoming one of the millions of generational curse breakers, and yes, I'm referring to myself. Now I realize that, yeah, I'm not going back, and I'm not entertaining any toxicity from anybody ever again. I've been on both sides of the coin. I've been helpless and been committed to an abuser, and I now have the ability to help people and pay it forward and help them break the cycle. And one of the key instrumental parts of breaking the cycle is realizing that the person you're considering, they don't care about you. They don't love you. They have no love within them. What they have is jealousy. What they have is disdain. What they have is dishonesty. What they have is misrepresentation, They have misinterpretation and misdirection. And that all encompasses and equals one word: narcissism. Now, having said all those things, another Achilles heel or another weak spot of the narcissist, not only do they not want to be alone, but they need supply. Do you need supply? Yeah, you need Kleenex and Wipies and gas in your car or electricity these days. And I told you recently, you should be getting this message. Gasoline's going by the wayside. If you don't agree, you really need to take a closer look in the mirror, because electricity is a lot less expensive, and that's the path for helping the planet. But having said that, off my soapbox, when you realize that the narcissist needs supply and you don't, all you need is peace. All you need is quiet. All you need is a beautiful mindset, purpose, empathy, energy, positivity. What you need is no drama, no manipulation, no one hanging up on you, no gaslighting you, etc. But this is how the narcissist operates. They need supply. Without supply, they can't function. And you may think for a minute, well, wait a minute, that's not true. They can still breathe air and they can still go to work and they can still do things. Well, yeah, they can still breathe air. Are they going to go to work? Probably not. They're probably sponging from you, or they probably were sponging from you or somebody else. Maybe they do hold a job down. Don't know. I really don't care. I'm being blunt, but they need supply. They need to be relevant. They need to matter. They need to live in people's minds rent-free, not yours, other people's. And they need disruption. They need to cause confusion, chaos, manipulation. They need to gaslight. These are all toxic behaviors or mannerisms that you were unaware of. Now you understand them. That's why you're figuring out, or you already have, that you're totally different than most people you've ever even met. You most likely have an extremely high level of empathy or emotional intelligence. The narcissist has zero empathy, which is why they try to steal it from you. They have zero emotional intelligence because what they have is a sixth sense, a predatory instinct on how to destroy people's lives. Once you heal and heal properly, you will develop your own sixth sense of authenticity, abundance, direction, but more importantly, of boundaries. What that means is, once you heal, you'll be able to see narcissism, unfortunately, everywhere. You will also be able to use your newfound superpower in your discernment to help yourself out of circumstances or situations that perhaps you don't want to participate in. Example, maybe you have a graduation, or maybe you have some ceremony that you have to attend, but you don't want to. Well, you still have to go. And by going, you're doing the right thing. But if there's toxic people there, well, you need to learn how to utilize gray rock, or understand that their baggage is their baggage. It's not your baggage. But anyway you cut it, you're going to have to implement the tools you're understanding, you're learning about, which is mindset, energy, empathy, and you want to avoid toxicity. Now, all these things I'm sharing with you, they equal a couple key points for this video. 1, the narcissist won't change. 2, they have a lot of weak spots. 3, the narcissist without supply is helpless. 4, the narcissist never cared about you. They don't care about the new supply. They don't care about their own kids. They care about nobody but themselves. And they all become the aging narcissist. Now, this is an illustration of who the aging narcissist is. First of all, they are not a pretty sight to see. Second of all, they become more and more decrepit, more and more, they become more and more forgetful, whether it's on purpose or not. That's up for you to decide. But they can't move around and function, and they're not as sharp as they used to be. But they will still go back into the old bag of manipulation, the old bag of tricks, and try to manipulate anybody who gets too close to them. And that includes their family members, people that are working for them, like people that are being paid to help them out, etc., and family members and friends, and etc. The narcissist will go down swinging. If you think for a minute in their older age that they become contrite and they want to apologize and atone for their mistakes, they don't, they won't, they never have, they never will. The narcissist is getting worse and worse. The narcissist also on the planet has fewer and fewer places to hide. The narcissist also now knows that they are becoming the aging narcissist, and they're actually using that term now. They are not calling themselves that, of course, but they are identifying other people that way. You may say, well, how would you know that? Well, I am very observant, and I can see patterns, and I've heard that expression in places I never thought I would hear. Well, anyway you cut it, the word's getting out. And now that the word's getting out, you're understanding that whatever generation you're from, if you're Gen Z, Gen X, if you're a boomer, whatever generation you're from, you're understanding that the person you're considering, if they're up there in years, they are not only becoming the aging narcissist, but they're not from your time frame or whatever generation you're from. They're from their own generation, a prehistoric generation that doesn't want to let go of abusing people on this planet called Earth. Now, before I get ready to close the video, I'll share a couple things with you. One, when you were with the narcissist, you did not believe that they had any flaws. You were thinking that they had everything together and that they knew what they were doing and that they had such perfect direction, or that they were workable, meaning you could work with them. Now you realize without somebody steering their life or without somebody providing supply, and what is supply? It could be money, time, energy, empathy, love, relationships, health, everything. Without somebody providing supply, the narcissist is stuck. They're stuck in quicksand. And guess what quicksand is? Yep, quicksand is that kind of sand, when you step in it, it sinks down lower and lower into the earth. And if the narcissist doesn't have a supply source to help them get out of that, then they will continue to go lower and lower and lower and lower and lower and lower until when? Until exactly they find their natural vibrational state, which is the lowest vibrational state known to humankind. But that's why they always have to find supply sources, or look for and search for and scour the earth for supply sources, because they can't do anything on their own. They can't make a proper decision. You can never have an intelligent conversation with these people. All they do is continue to consume what other people's hopes, dreams, ideas, aspirations, goals are, spin them around like they are their ideas, their own ideas, use them, and then here we go. That's why once you realize the narcissist without a supply source, there's nothing to them. They're AI. They're a cardboard cutout. There is nothing to these people. Yeah, I've said it about 7 or 8 times. Before I close the video, you need to understand one thing, that the narcissist has way more weak spots than you ever thought. Flip it for a quick moment. Do you have weak spots? Of course you do. Do I? Absolutely. But do you have as many weak spots as you did before? Absolutely not. You don't. Why? Because you've been working on yourself. You've been healing, focusing on yourself, and you're getting stronger. The stronger you get, the weaker the narcissist gets. The weaker they get, the more weak spots you see in them. The more weak spots you see in them, the more damage you see what they did to you. The more damage that you see that they did to you, the more you realize that clarity is arriving in your mind. The clearer your mind gets, the less the narcissist matters to you, and the more you want to leave them in the rearview mirror, continue to elevate and ascend and arrive at that pinnacle of indifference, the mountaintop of indifference where the narcissist has no access to. In 1 billion years, they can't get there. Why? Think about what the mountaintop or the pinnacle of indifference is. It's a mountain top, high, ascension, elevation, positivity, flow, rarefied air. That's where I am. That's where you are, or you're headed. The narcissist is in the polar opposite direction. They're getting lower and lower and lower and lower, and they're trying to keep their head above water, but they can't do it. Why? Because they're a sinking ship, a ticking time bomb, and because now it's time for payback. And the narcissist knows that the Grim Reaper is right there at their front door, and that the human beings on this planet are now closing avenues of communication to them, because nobody, and I mean nobody, wants to be abused, manipulated, lied to, cheated on, or have anything stolen from them ever again. So everyone, that's the video. I hope you liked it. I loved doing it from the absolutely beautiful Carolinas. This is Andrew. Namaste. Have a great afternoon, evening, or morning. No matter where you are on the planet, you are not alone. I love you all. I'll talk to you tomorrow. A couple things. I hope this video sound was good because it's a little bit windy. Number 2, the greenery, the foliage is coming in here. It is so beautiful. I hope wherever you are, you're experiencing a beautiful environment. My hope is that you're in a good, safe space. And on top of that, you need to understand one thing. The narcissist won't change. They won't introspect. They won't be accountable. What they will continue to do is have the loudest voice in anyone's mind that they can get access to. That will not be you ever again. I love you all, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye, everybody. Bye.